Hello and welcome. In today's session, we will be looking at creating websites. We will be looking at examples of websites, and we'll also be looking at how we can go about creating our own websites. First of all, let's establish a working definition for websites. A website is an inquiry-oriented lesson format in which most or all the information that the learner works with comes from the web. Webquest can be created by using a simple word processor. However, for this course, we will be creating Webquest using some online resources. You do not have to worry about knowledge of website creation, because these will be automated for you. Why do we need a Webquest? A Webquest allows us to infuse technology into the classroom and the curriculum. Webquest also allows us to match the curriculum to the needs of our students. Our Webquest also makes it safer for our students to browse the internet, in the sense that the students will not be sent on a wild goose chase to search for information, but what will happen is that the teacher will in advance locate the information and provide a link to the information that is necessary to complete a particular task. Webquests are known to help students develop critical thinking skills. They're also known to help students with problem solving, among many other skill areas, such as even becoming an explorer. Because in your study of the 21st century learner, you'll realize that one of the tenets of the 21st century learner is that of an explorer, right? Or 21st century learners love this. Now let us focus our attention now at an example of a web quest. The example that I will use will be taken from QuestGuard. And I'm just going to search by topic for our web quest on memory. And here I have several web quests. I'll just look at the first one. All right, now this is what a typical web quest looks like. Let me first of all highlight the main areas. We have the introduction, we have the tasks, we have the process, we have the evaluation, and we have the conclusion. These 5 areas are the 5 main areas of a web quest. So once you create a web quest, it should have these 5 areas. There are other areas that are optional that persons may include, such as a teacher's page, a resource page, and so forth. All right, but these are the 5 main areas: the introduction, the task, the process, evaluation, conclusion. All right, now the introduction, just like any other document, the introduction introduces the learner to the web quest, giving an overview of what the web quest is about and the expectations and so forth. Of course, your introduction could be more detailed than this one. All right. Now the task provides an outline of what is expected of the student. That is what will be completed at the end of this process. All right, so these are the tasks as outlined here. It says here that your task will be to define what memory is. That is one of the tasks. To develop a memory game. Here to determine how your life would be affected if you were to lose your ability to remember, and so forth. To develop a chart here to illustrate how information travels through the brain. Now the student will be aided by links to different websites in order to complete each of these tasks. And now let's look at the process. So notice, so the introduction just gives an overview what the web quest is. The task outline what is to be completed. And now here we have the process. Now with the process, we have several links. Now, if you develop a web quest without any link to the internet, you can be assured that you'll be marked down, because it will not be a web quest without links, right? If there's no interference with the web, it's simply not a web quest. If it's a task that the student can simply just complete um, on their own, probably with a textbook, no need to um, access the internet and support. It's simply not a web quest. So what we're developing is a web quest, and what this will do, it will help our students to be more critical in their thinking, to be more independent in their problem solving, development, and so forth. Now here we have the process as outlined. So the first process is to define memory. Here, now notice here, the teacher doesn't just provide a definition for memory by saying that memory is this or memory is that. What happens here is that we provide the students with the links, all right? So here we have two websites that will help them to coin their own definition for memory after reading. All right, so let's click on the first link and see what happens. All right, so here it takes me to a page that provide information on memory, and then from reading this, our students will be able to develop a working knowledge of what memory is. And the same thing goes for the other link. If I click on it, it takes me to another page on memory. All right. So what is memory and how does it work? And there we have information. All right. So if you notice here, there's no need for me to go on Google search, right? While using this web quest. It is you, the designer, when you're developing this web quest, you'll have to search for the information, save the link, and then you can share so that students will be able to complete the task as easily and as quickly as possible. The next thing here is for them to do a comprehension that outlines the role memory plays in everyday life. And then again, here there are links to information about the role that memory plays. Let's check them and see. Here it says working memory in daily life. So by reading this, by reading through the content of this page, our student should be able to answer the question. All right, so here again, we have another link, and if you click on that, it will help you answer. And then here is another scenario. Here we have the application. It says here, since you have an understanding of memory, devise a memory game that you can use to test the memory of others. So we're going to develop a quick memory game. And here there are links to two different sites that allow you to create memory games. So if I click on the first one, it takes me to this website, and here I can develop my own game. Actually, I will walk you through this web quest. We'll recreate this web quest together. You can have a feel as to what is expected. All right, so we'll go through all of those, creating the games and all that. Then we have the analysis. It says here that if you lost the ability to remember information, compare and contrast how it would affect your function from day to day. And then these are links to that will help them to do such analysis. All right. So it's just for you to understand which topic you want to create the web quest on. Identify your resources and provide the necessary links to them. All right. So those are some of the information that could be used for this task. And here we have the synthesis. Here they were asked to develop a chart to illustrate how information travels through memory. And of course, these are links that would aid them in developing this chart. So there you go. And of course, we have the evaluation here. So the developer of this Webquest break up the process as indicated here. Doesn't necessarily mean that yours have to take the same format, all right? But whatever method that you use, you should provide a real logical flow that helps your students complete the required tasks. And of course, you can explore other web quests. Here now, we're looking at the task to assess whether or not short-term memory is more important than long-term. And of course, there are links here, links provided here that can assist in that. All right. So from these, students should be able to answer that question. All right. Of course, now we go to the evaluation. Now this evaluation is totally different from this one. This is just a part of the process. All right. Not necessarily mandatory that you have one here. It's just how the designer choose to break up the outline of process. Now this evaluation will provide a rubric, and this rubric will allow the student to assess his or her performance, all right, after completing this work quest. All right. So the first item we have for the evaluation here is stated objective or performance. So we look at the extent to which the student will have mastered these. So for beginning, that will be 1 point, developing 2 points, qualified 3 points, exemplary 4 points. All right. So if there's so for exemplary, we look at description of identifiable performance characteristics reflecting the highest level of performance. Now your rubric will be based up on you. So your rubric doesn't have to be identical to this one. So you're gonna develop your rubric how you know best. I have also included links to websites on Schoology that can aid you in developing your own rubric. All right, so there's actually a link in the resource section of Schoology that will guide you in developing a rubric like this. All right, so here we have for 3 points, if the description of identifiable performance characteristics reflect mastery of performance. All right, so for that they will get 3 points. So based on what you're doing, the items in your evaluation will be different. All right, so your rubric will be different. All right, it may not necessarily be the same as. Of course, you can search for examples online that will guide you. All right, so you must have an evaluation rubric in your document, in your Webquest. All right. All right. Now, the next item in the Webquest here is the conclusion. And for the conclusion, we write it as usual. This one, this is actually a link to provide feedback on the Webquest to the author, but you could have provided a written conclusion as it relates to whatever you have in your Webquest. All right. And of course, these are optional, credit and teacher page. The credit would just give credit to who. Well, credit here gives credit to the sources, which is important, very important, since we use information from other sources. All right, but as I said earlier, though, the 5 main sections of WordPress are 1, 2. All right, then of course the teacher page is also optional. We'll just provide information about the teacher. All right, but I would recommend that you include the credit page, all right, since it just provides some reference information. It's very important when you use people information. All right, so that is the example. All right, so we're gonna look now at how we go about creating our All right, so now we will look at how we go about creating a Webquest. Go to Schoology, and we're going to open our Webquest folder. And there we'll find a link that takes us to one of the online resources that we can use to create a Webquest. So we're going to click on this link here. Just click here. And this opens for us the website createwebquest.com. In order for us to use this website, we will just do a quick sign up. And of course, before we sign up, if you look here, we have examples of WebQuest that we could have we could view parts of the body. Let's get another one. But what we're going to be doing, we're going to be creating our own. So here's another one. It shows a different section. So let's get back home. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be signing up. So we have to sign up. So just click home. I'm going to click sign up. New account. So I'll just pause the video. So I'm just going to fill out all of this information to create. All right, so once you fill out all the information, just click create, and that will create the account for you. All right, so once created, the page is now open for us to create our WebQuest. Once we have created our account, let me just log out. So this is what would come up when after you create your account. Otherwise, if you created your account and logged out and visited the page, this is what you do. You just log in, put in your credential. Well, that's my username, the username that I'm working with. You just type in your username and your password that you would have used when you were setting up the account and click login. Once you're logged in, to create a Webquest, just click create a Webquest, and it takes you back to that page. So what we're going to be doing here, we're going to be setting up each component. So first of all, we set up the title. My title, I'm going to be working with computer memory. And here, I will provide an introduction to computer memory. All right, so here's a basic introduction as that can be used with this Webquest. So we'll move on from the introduction. We'll just click on tasks, and here I'll fill out the information as it relates to the task that is to be performed. All right, so these are the tasks to be completed. If you wish, you can number them like that. All right. These are the tasks to be completed. Some speed. There we have it. So we have our tasks to be completed. Now let's move on to the process. So in the process, we're going to outline the different tasks, and we're also going to be providing links to assist students in completing these tasks. All right, so I have typed down already, so let me just transfer. For example, let's say I want my students to know what is memory. The task one, say what is memory. All right. To help them with this task, what I would do is to go online, find some information on memory. All right. So um, once I identify a trusted source, try computer home. All right, so from here, the student should be able to pick up on that information. So what I'll do now is just copy this link, click up in the address bar, copy. And I'm gonna go back to my Webquest page. Yeah. So back to the Webquest page, and what I'm gonna do now is just to paste it. It's telling me that the browser doesn't recognize the right click on the mouse. So what I just need to do is hold on Control and press V to paste, Control on the keyboard and V, and that paste. All right. So that's how you get the link. And if I want, I could search for another one. Let's just get another source here. Sorry. All right. So if you notice what's happening here, I am the one searching, so the student will not have to go through all of this searching. All right. So I think I can use one. All right. So if I'm satisfied with this, I'm gonna copy the link, go back to my Webquest. So from these two links, I expect my students to be able to answer the question, what is memory? All right. All right. Now for the others, how so how does the computer memory work? I have located that video. All right, and here is it. So here's my next task. How does the computer memory work? And here's a video that I got from YouTube. So if the students click on this, it will open up the video for them, and that will tell them how it works. So they will be able to write their comprehension as to how the computer memory works. And of course, I did up the others, so I'll just copy them in the interest of time. So here we have the unit of memory. They will be able to get stuff about the unit of memory from here. And here's another question: how does the computer manages to boot up since something? So RAM is empty at startup, and of course these will provide information in that regard. All right, so if I've covered all the tasks that is required, then I can safely say that the process is complete. All right. So now we're gonna move on now to our evaluation. So here I'm gonna create my rubric for evaluation. I'm going to create something very simple. I'm going to create a table. I'm going to create a table with about 5 columns, and I'll do 5 columns and about 4 rows. 5 columns. Let's put 5 by 5. Yeah, the first row is my header, and I'll just put it up. Okay. All right, good. So this is now how I'm going to set up my rubric. So for good, for good, very good, is for so for good, for 4, we're going to give us score of 1. Good, score of 2, very good, score of 3. Again, this does not mean that your rubric should look like mine. I'm just doing something first to demonstrate the point. So the first thing I'm going to be looking at is the first task, which is definition of memory. Here, the next one I'm going to look at is the unit. And here I will just put the level of task that is expected to get at least 1 point. Clear definition. If you want to give a clear definition of memory. For 2 point, clear definition. With example. Next one, clear definition. Examples and functions. Right? So if the student gives just a definition that's, for example, saying memory is this and that, or memory is just a temporary holding area for information and data, that is just 1 mark. If they give the definition and give me examples, then they get a 2 point. But if they give me examples along with the definition as well as functions, that is where it is used and how it is used, then of course they'll get the 3 points. And the same thing goes for the other areas. All right. So it's just a matter of breaking down the task into what you're actually expecting. All right. So for example, now for the unit, and describing the unit of memory. For example, in stating the unit of memory, they mention both bit and the amount. All right. And for them to get the excellent, they have to mention both bit, amount of bits that make a byte, and the reference. All right. So that is basically a breakdown as to the rubric. And of course, we would complete complete in a similar manner for the others. All right. So in the interest of time, I will not um, type up everything here. All right. Well, I can just let them pause the video and complete it. All right. So this is just a simple sample evaluation that could be coined and used with your Webquest. Now, once you're finished, we can then move on to the conclusion. All right, so there we have it. There we have our conclusion. Of course, I can populate the teacher page just to put some information about the teacher, which I will not do right now, but you can do it. I can populate the credit. That is simple to include reference information to the information that I use in the website, in the Webquest. I encourage you to use your APA format when doing this. Right. Well, actually, I will accept as a link for this, but if you're doing a written document, always stick to your APA form. All right. But for this, you can just put the links here. Good. So having done all of that, we are going to hit save. All right. So the Webquest computer memory has been created. All right. So my Webquest has been created. So this is the Webquest, and this is how you get access to it. So by simply typing in this link, you type in this link now from your computer, you'll be able. All right, so if you use this website to create your WordPress, what you would submit to me is this link, and I will show you how to attach this link to your blog because everything has to be integrated. All right. Right. If I click task, there is this process, and these two work. Evaluation, let's see evaluation that we did. conclusion. All right. All right, so let's just look quickly as to how I can link this to the blog. I'm gonna copy the link. What I'm gonna have to do now is just jump into my Gmail account. So the first thing to do is to copy the link. So make sure you copy the link. So copy the link, copy, highlight it, highlight, right click, copy. Go to Gmail. So what I'm gonna do now is just link the Webquest to the blog. All right, so I'm gonna link Webquest to the blog. I'm gonna go into my app. Go down to more. Again, we're gonna select Blogger. All right, and the name of the blog that I was working on, it's Complete Studies 101. So blog. Right. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is to provide a link to the to my web quest. All right, so let's just go back to here. Go back to here. What we're gonna do is just create a page, create a post as well. I'll just create a page and call it new page. Call it Webquest. Right. All right. And in order for me to add the link to this page, so the link that I copied, what I'm gonna say is click here, view. All right. So once I type the statement that I would like for them to see, what I'm gonna do is just follow the procedure, highlight it, highlight, and to add a link to it, if you notice here, there is the word link. Click on it to add the link. And what we're gonna do now, the link that I copied, that's the link from here that I copied. Here. And what I'm gonna do here is just all right, paste here, click OK. Once that is done, you're pretty much just click publish. And if we click view blog again, all right, so if I click view blog, you can notice I'm not seeing the page that I just created. This is a problem that we have solved before, so let's just go back and fix it quickly. So yes, our page is there, but it's not showing up here. So what we're gonna do is just go back and hit on layout, All right. So for the cross column, we have already added pages, but let's just edit it to include the page that we just created. Click edit. And what we'll have to do is just put a tick on WordPress here. So after you insert a page, if it's not shown, just do this and you'll find it. Alright, so once that is done, come down and save. And if you view your blog now, you should be able to see. So there is it, Webquest. Alright, and it says click here to view memory Webquest. So if I click on this now, it takes me to the Webquest. Alright, so that is how you link the different components. Alright. Alright, so that's it. Thank you all for viewing, and I hope you found this useful. Have a good one.